for this insightful and exciting webinar. We are gathered here to delve into a topic that is immense significance in the world of education today, NEP 2020 and school library. The National Education Policy 2020 brings transformative changes into education in India, focusing on holistic, integrated, and accessible learning. School libraries play a crucial role in fostering of love for reading, critical thinking, and knowledge acquisition. Today, we'll explore how NEP 2020 envisioned the role of libraries and how librarians like our presenter, Mr. Faisal, are embracing this vision to enhance student learning. With over 2 decades of experience, Mr. Faisal is renowned for integrating technology and innovative practices in school libraries, setting a high standard in his field. Mr. Faisal embarked on his career as a librarian in 2003 and has since made remarkable contribution to the profession. After a long and successful tenure of Kendriya Vidyalaya Pattam, he is currently serving as a librarian at Kendriya Vidyalaya No.1 in Palakkad. Over the years, Mr. Faisal has received numerous recognition for his dedication to innovation practices and seamless integration of information and communication technology in education. His commitment to enhancing the library experience has earned him prestigious awards, including ISL International Excellence Award, KVS, KV, and NCRT, and Innovative Award, and National ICT Award for Teachers. In 2021, Mr. Faisal was honored with the President's National Teachers Award, a testament to his outstanding contribution to the field of education and library services. His vision for school libraries goes beyond just being a space of books. It's all about creating a hub of knowledge, learning, and development, which align perfectly with the goal of NEP 2020. We are delighted to have him here with us today to share his insight on how the NEP 2020 can transform school libraries and help them play a crucial role in shaping the future of education. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Faisal to the webinar.
Good evening, sir.
So, good evening to everyone. I'm extremely happy
Good evening.
to be with all wonderful people again. So, first of all, I would like to thank SLA India for the invitation to deliver this session on a very important topic. And my thanks to Mr. Diksha for a nice introduction also. So, dear professionals, National Education Policy, as all of you know, that it's taking a lot of publicity plus a lot of interest among the professionals, not only teachers, among librarians also. So here in this session, we will discuss in detail about the things which are related to school libraries given in National Education Policy 2020 and National Curriculum Framework 2023. So we will go one by one to find out the special things about school libraries said in National Education Policy and this other document NCF 2023. And along with that, we will discuss a little bit about how it can be implemented in our libraries. So I will have a small presentation in the beginning, and later we will have a discussion on the topics also. So I would like to start my presentation. Is it visible?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Thank you. So the title of this presentation is National Education Policy 2020 and School Library. The title itself says about that there is a role for each and every library in the school in the present national education policy, and it is very much important. So we will have the presentation in, it is divided into two sections. The first one, we will discuss about the vision and principles of national education policy, which is related to school education. And there will be, we will see what are the key highlights of National Education Policy 2020. Then how it is depicting the role of school libraries. So we will see the specific points or specific sections related to school libraries in the National Education Policy. In the second part, we will discuss about the strategies and guidelines, which are detailed in National Curriculum Framework, that is the implementation part, NCF 2023. As I said, this the first part, that is National Education Policy, is the policy part, and National Curriculum Framework is the implementation part or the strategic part. So here, when we see the National Education Policy, the introductory chapter itself says about its goal, why this National Education Policy is there. Okay, so you know that the history of National Education Policy and how many policies are so far published. Then in this policy itself, it says that to ensure inclusive and equitable quality education and promote lifelong learning opportunities for all by 2030. That is the basic aim of this national education policy. So it is in alignment with the fourth goal of SDG4, that is of 2030, that is Agenda for Sustainable Development, adopted by India in 2015. So it is having a global perspective also. When we are creating the policies, it is aligned with the global policies or global education policies. So the goal is very much clear. So we are going to a global level where our education is in alignment with the global education scenario or global education policies. So in connection with that, when we think about the Right to Education Act, okay, it says there shall be a library in each school providing newspaper, magazines, and books on all subjects, including storybooks. So it's a small section in the Right to Education Act, that is the Right of Children to Free and Compulsory Education Act 2009. Okay, it says that there must be a library in each and every school. That is the right of a student. That we have been saying for the last many decades, that it is the right of each and every student of the country to have a library in the school. So let's see the key highlights of national education policy in the context of school education. So national education policy is not only for school education, remember, it is for higher education also. I have taken the main points or key highlights of NEP, which are related to school education only here. The first point is that is 5+3+3+4 stage design. The stage design is changed and now it is 5+3+3+4. So you already know what are these things, 5+3+3+4 stage design. Then I am not going in detail because we have been discussing all these things for the last many months. Okay. Then second important point is early childhood care and education, that is ECC. As it is written clearly in the National Education Policy that more than 80% of the development or mental development or brain development of the child is happening before he or she is reaching age 6. So it is given utmost importance for the early childhood care and education, that is ECC. A lot of theories or a lot of policy decisions are made in national education policy related to ECC. Then the third one is foundation literacy and numeracy, FLN. Now, as you know that in almost all schools, these things are happening, FLN activities, FLN programs to develop foundation literacy and numeracy. Modules are there and a number of documents by government of India is already there, how to conduct all these things, etc., etc. What are the importance? Then the fourth one is universal access to education at all levels. So through this NEP, Government of India, or through this NEP, it is decided that there must be universal access to education at all levels to the children, or to the all levels in the sense that there must be, for example, in school education, higher education, and non-formal education or informal education. At all levels, there must be universal access to education for everyone in the country. Then it also respect for diversity and respect for the local context. It also give a lot of importance to the respecting the diversity of our country, the cultures, languages, religions, etc., etc., and respect for local context. So we have to decide, we have to discuss in detail all these things. The coming slides will discuss it. Then it also says about multilingualism. It's very much important because we are actually supporting the 3-language policy in our schools, and the NEP 2020 also suggests that the primary education should be in mother tongue, and we have to promote, for example, if it is in Northeast, or if it is in South India or North India or East India. So wherever the school is, and that local language must be promoted. There must be a collection of it, there must be in detail. There must be a good support of all these resources in the libraries that we will discuss. Then a rootedness in India. All these things should be rooted in Indian history, Indian culture, or ancient India, or whatever things in our culture and society. The curriculum should be based on this Indian culture, and it should be aligned with the inventions made in India, or a lot of things are there. It should be rootedness in India. Then the curriculum is going to be reduced. It is already happening. Okay, the reduced curriculum content is getting reduced. Then flexibility and choice in the secondary stage. In the secondary stage, students will get a flexibility or get a chance to select his or her own subjects or disciplines. So multidisciplinary subjects can be taken, and a student who is interested to take physics, he can take art along with physics, he can take sports along with physics. Okay. Then integrating vocational education. So when you see the national education policy and NCF, a lot of importance is given to develop vocational education skills. Okay, vocational education is given utmost importance, and so you can see that a number of developments are there, including creating the vocational education labs in schools, etc., etc. Then teachers and faculty as the heart of the learning process. So it is very much important that the staff of the school or the faculty of the school should get prominence in the learning process also. It is also given utmost importance in the national education policy. Then multidisciplinary, holistic and integrated education should be there. So these are some of the key highlights or key points when we read this national education policy, we can find out. So what is the role of a school library? Okay, when we think about national education policy, how we can take up these policy elements to our school library environment. So I have taken only the important points which is given in national education policy in related to or in connection with the implementation of the school library policy. Here the first one is the foundational literacy and numeracy, FLN. So you can see the paragraph, it is 2.8, but I'm not going to read it out. Under that, so at the bottom of the slide, you can see some important points. What is saying in that paragraph? The first one is school libraries will be set up in villages to serve community during non-school hours. It's a very revolutionary decision by the government of India that these school libraries should be set up in villages to serve community during non-school hours. Okay, the school library should be open to the community it should be open to the farmers, it should be open to the people, those who are residing around the school during non-school hours. Then the formation of book clubs, creation of digital libraries, then a national repository of high quality resources on FLN will be made available on digital infrastructure for knowledge share, that is on Diksha. Okay, so national repository of high quality resources on FLN should be created by, or it will be created by the department, and it will be available on Diksha. Then national mission on foundation literacy and numeracy will be created. And there is a time frame is also given, achieving universal foundation literacy and numeracy in primary school by 2025. So that you can see a number of programs are being implemented in schools around the country. Okay, when we are thinking about FLN activities. So these are the key points from the section 2.8. When we go to this section, digital library, as already we know that there is a national digital library in the NDLI is there. And in the Union Budget 23-24, it was announced that the National Digital Library for Children and Adolescents will be there. It will be set up to facilitate the availability of quality books. Then states will be encouraged to set up physical libraries at panchayats and ward levels for children. To build a culture of reading, the National Book Trust, Children's Book Trust will be encouraged to provide and replenish non-curricular titles in regional languages and English. So these are the suggestions given in the Union Budget 2023-24. So I think the things that our program is happening, and there is a team working with this National Digital Library for Children and Adolescents. And along with getting this curriculum-based resources, the students around the country will get an access to non-curricular resources, non-curricular titles, fiction, non-fiction, etc., through this facility. Then there is the Sarthak implementation plan for NEP. This is an implementation part of NEP 2020, Sarthak implementation plan. And you can see that NBT is given a lot of importance and responsibility to create or develop engaging and inspirational books, both physical and e-books for students, including disabled students, additional resources at all levels. And it should keep in mind the local language requirements also. A national book promotion policy will be developed by NCRT. Then NCRT is going to develop, I think its work is going on, a national book promotion policy. And it will be implemented at state level by SCERT. And in collaboration with states, union territories, KVS, JPs, CTSA, for promoting joyful reading among children. And timeline is also given 22-23 onwards. So the things are happening now at different levels, at state levels and at national levels by NCRT. So when we think about the role of school library in the case of universal access to education at all levels, here is a very important thing that is involving NGOs, community, and alumni. So you can see a special emphasis on socio-economically disadvantaged groups are given. Then supporting formal and non-formal education modes. So the school should support formal and non-formal education modes. So in all these things, all these sections, we have to think about how libraries can contribute, how we can support the disadvantaged groups of people or students, and how we can promote formal and non-formal education modes. So non-formal education can be in different types where we are engaging the community also. Then we have to allow public philanthropic partnerships in developing schools. Developing schools doesn't mean that developing the entire only the classrooms. Okay, it also includes developing the library. So it is the NEP is open to the involvement of NGOs, community, and alumni, where we can also or find out resources from alumni and community. So public philanthropic partnerships are open or welcomed. Then community and alumni volunteering. There is, as all of you know, that there is a portal by Government of India which is called as Vidyanjali portal, through which all these contributions, all these donations or volunteering activities will be routed up. And this portal can be utilized or can be integrated with our school system to find out resources which are not available in the schools. So it can be for library, it can be for the building, it can be a physical resource, or it can be a knowledge, means intellectual resource. For example, we can invite the alumni to have a session on career guidance in the school. We can invite the alumni to have some expert sessions on different topics, on different subjects, etc., etc. So along with that, training modules can also be prepared for with the help of alumni. And through this Vidyanjali portal, contributions, physical contributions like infrastructure development, etc., also can be done. Then tutoring, career guidance, and mentoring, as I told you, these things can be done through the help of involving NGOs, community, and alumni. Then see, here you can see when we think about the revised curricular and pedagogical structure, the first five, that is 3 years of Anganwadi pre-primary, that is ages 3 to 6. Then 2 years of class 1 and 2, age 6 to 8. Then coming the middle stage, that is experiential learning in science, maths, arts, and social science, humanities happening, where 3 years, classes 3 to 5. Then secondary stage is there, 3 years of classes 6 to 8, age 11 to 14. Then 4 years of classes 9 to 12. So earlier it was 10 plus 2. As we all know, existing academic structure is 10 plus 2. Now it is 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4. So foundational stage of 5 years, preparatory stage of 3 years, middle stage of 3 years, then secondary stage of 4 years. So you can see what are the things, concepts under these stages, how the education can be done, like multi-level play activity-based learning will happen in the foundational stage. Then play, discovery, activity-based and interactive classroom learning will happen in the preparatory stage, that is say 3 years. Then experiential learning will happen in the middle stage. Then multidisciplinary study, critical thinking, flexibility in choice of subjects are given as options in the secondary stage, that is the 4 years. It is coming for classes 9 to 12. So what is the role of a library here? Normally what we are doing is that we are now creating resources for primary and secondary. Am I right? So resources for classes 1 to 5 and 6 to 12. Test touch, we are creating resources or developing our collection. But according to this national education policy, we have to create resources for all these sections. So it can be, there can be a collection, good collection for foundational stages, which includes toys and other things, etc. Because these Anganwadi students are coming in that stage. Then preparatory stage also, we have to think about play-based or discovery activity-based resources we can provide in the library. In middle stage also, we think about science, maths, art, experiential learning oriented resources we have to develop. And secondary stage, the remaining things. So when we are developing resources or collection for the library, we have to think about from the side of the new academic structure. That is very much important. So just keep aside all these things which we were creating or developing, like for 10 plus 2 people. Now we have to create different collections or interactive collections for all these stages, the students from all these stages. So when we think about the collection development, okay, based on this national education policy, the collection development or collection should be holistic, well-rounded, and it should equip the students to earn the 21st century skills. You know what are the 21st century skills? It should support, our collections should support this 21st century skills. Then it should support enhancing essential learning and critical thinking. Then experiential learning, there must be art integration, sports integration. So we must have a collection, a good number of books or resources or digital things related to art and sports in the library. Then there should be a wider range of subjects. Then because the students should get the option to select their own disciplines, etc. Multidisciplinary learning is happening. So we have to find out resources for different types of people or different people, those who are choosing their own disciplines. The subject should be varied in content, or there should be it should be based on or taken from different subjects areas also. Then multilingualism, we should promote multilingualism. The The library should have books in English, Hindi, and local languages. Okay, three language formula is already there, but according to NEP, we must support in a good way or great way. We must support our local language. If you are working in Tamil Nadu, there must be a collection of Tamil books in the library. That is a must according to a national education policy. Then gifted students or students with special talents must be catered, or their needs should be catered. Just like we have to create different types of resources which will be helpful for gifted students and students with special talents and students with special needs, persons with disabilities. So the collection should also reflect or should also support these people. So there can be books in braille or books, the audio books can be procured in the library or e-books can be procured in the library. So digital pedagogy, you already know that we must support, the resources must support the digital teaching and learning methods or digital pedagogy. Then when we think about multilingualism, see, wherever possible, the medium of instruction until at least grade 5, but preferably till grade 8 and beyond, will be the home language or mother tongue or local language or regional language. It is written in National Education Policy. So up to class 5, the education must be, or wherever possible, it should be in the regional language or mother tongue. So thereafter, the home or local language shall continue be taught as a language wherever possible. So we have to think about creating local language collections in our libraries. Then high quality bilingual textbooks and teaching learning materials must be there in the library. So there, I think some publishers, they are already, they have already published a number of books in two languages, English or Hindi or English, Hindi or in different local languages also. So you can find out many publishers, including National Book Trust, NBT, and Children's Book Trust, where they are publishing multilingual books. So we must cater the needs of people, those who are studying in our schools, and we must cater the needs of the people regarding their local language content also. So the collection should reflect all these things, all these languages. Okay, the English, Hindi, plus the regional language collection should be there in the library. So when we think about the collection development again, the nature of content, what should be the nature of content? The NEP suggests that it should reflect the knowledge of India, ancient and modern, environmental awareness, including water resource conservation, sanitation, and hygiene. There should be collection, there should be books related to this. There should be books related to current affairs and understanding of critical issues facing local communities. Then specialities of each state, countries, and world around. Okay, so we have to find out, we have to create a collection of books related to the state where the school is and the country and other countries around the globe. So there is no need to confine with a particular state or country. Just to think in a broad, in a global way, to find out the resources from other countries also. The students should get an idea what is happening around other countries in and around the around the state and outside the country also. So the collection should reflect all these things. Then there must be tribal and indigenous knowledge resources. So books, the other materials, artifacts, etc. should be there. It should reflect the knowledge or indigenous knowledge of tribal communities or our own local knowledge. Then all forms of literature, Indian and international, should be there in the library. All forms in the sense that literature related to different cultures, different societies around the globe should be there. So don't think about confining our resources to Indian authors. Find out wonderful authors from outside, from different continents, Latin America or Africa, or and good fiction and non-fiction books should be procured from different countries or different cultural backgrounds. A multidisciplinary approach to all subjects should be there. Then subjects collection such as physical education, the arts and vocational crafts must be there. So we have to create collections related to all these things. So the basic thing is that the collection should reflect the culture, the society, the language, religions, or whatever things around the globe. So the student should get a broader view about the world around us, and the collection should reflect that also. And there should be digital collections. Then multilingual resources must be there. Multi-leveled books. So this is an interesting thing. Multi-level system is already there in many libraries. According to the level of the students, the books are classified and arranged and organized. Then it also, NEP also suggests to have multi-leveled books in the libraries. Then bilingual books must be there. Home language, mother tongue as the medium of instruction, inclusion of children with special needs, support for gifted students and students with special talent. It is then providing supplementary enrichment materials. National and international Olympiad resources must be there in the library. So it should support the knowledge seeking of the students. Okay, we have to make them ready for the competitive exams after +2. So there must be Olympiad resources, home-based education resources must be there. The resources created by the school or by the teachers must be there in the library. So we can have a special collection of resources created by our own teachers and our own students, selected students, etc. Then textbooks in accessible formats such as large print and braille. So the NEP said about having students with a special need, special talent, and we must support them. And along with that, students having some disabilities or like couldn't read or write, etc., etc. There must be assistive technologies, assistive devices must be there, and there must be textbooks in accessible formats such as large print and braille in the collection. So these are the things about the collection development. Then in detail, you see that Indian literature with the global literature must be there. Blend of modern and classical literature in all languages. Then books based on inquiry, critical thinking, and problem solving. Then folklore and stories from different states must be there in the collection. So you can find out beautiful books published by NBT and CBT related to folk tales from different states of the country. So these collection should be there in the library. Then resources to include pride in India and its diverse ancient and modern culture and knowledge systems and traditions. So you can find out resources related to Indian traditional medicines, etc., tribal culture, etc., etc. Then books to support vocational education. So far, I think in many libraries we don't have the collection related to vocational education and sports. So we must create a basic collection on vocational education and sports in our libraries. Then resources to lead to global awareness. So think about having collections from different countries or books from different countries or depicting the culture and diversity of different people around the globe. So our collection should reflect all these things. Then another important thing which is given in the national education policy is that service conditions are infrastructure of the libraries. Okay, service conditions of the librarians or the staff plus the infrastructure that the libraries must have. Here you can see the overhauling the service environment and culture of schools to maximize the ability of teachers to do their job effectively. A lot of suggestions or policy decisions are made here. Safe, inclusive, and effective learning environment must be there. And here you see this one. This is very much important. Efficient resourcing and effective governance through school complex service conditions. Here also you can see there is another slide related to, yeah, see this one, connecting with society. Career pathways and CPD. It is related to that section only. So when we think about what the career avenues for librarians, it is, we know what is happening in our libraries when we join as librarian and we are retiring as librarians. But in national education policy, it is clearly written that the library must have adequate library staff or librarian sub-staff or supporting staff, etc. Then it should devise appropriate career pathways and CPD for people. In the case of library, see this one, this paragraph is particularly related to the library and librarians. It will be imperative to make available adequate library staff and also devise appropriate career pathways and CPD for them. So it is clearly written there. So it means that there must be a library in each and every school, and library must be adequately staffed with a librarian and sub-staff, etc. And there should be career pathways for each and every librarian there, along with CPD. So career promotion or career enhancement must be there for librarians. It is as given in National Education Policy. So here you can see efficient resourcing and effective governance through school complexes and clusters. It's also to support the schools which are having not enough resources. Okay, so the schools which are having resources, enough resources, should support these schools. Okay, the nearby schools where there is no facilities available. So the library should also be open to the nearby schools, and when they are having time to visit our library, we must facilitate that also. So use of the school library after school hours and on weekends, that is also given very much importance in National Education Policy. It means that there must be school complexes and clusters, and in this cluster there will be libraries, and these libraries should be utilized by the cluster schools or the school complex system. So how it will be implemented and who is going to serve all these things, that is that we have to discuss anyway. Then connecting with society is another important section given in National Education Policy. The school should be taken or considered as a Samajik Chedana Kendra, where the community is very much involved. They celebrate the school as a community institution, inviting community involvement, promoting social, intellectual, and volunteer activities in the school. So how we can integrate all these things in the libraries, that we have to think. Okay, when something is happening, annual day or some celebrations are happening in the school, how libraries can take part, or how we can contribute, or how we can involve the parents, involve society or community in our own activities, that is connecting with society. So the opportunities are very much open, and we can think about some innovative ideas where we can reach out to the society, reach out to the community through different types of activities. So here also you can see accessibility of resources. So strengthening of communities and intellectual institutions to ensure an adequate supply of books that cater to the needs and interest of all students. Enhance online accessibility of library books and digital libraries, so that many administrators are promoting nowadays the digital library thing, and the online facility of finding out books from the library, like web, OPAC, etc., etc. So it is suggested in the NEP also, we must provide online accessibility to the library resources. Okay, it includes the online search and find solutions like web, OPAC, etc. And the digital library must be there. Digital library, National Digital Library is already there, and the National Children's Digital Library is also happening. So along with that, wherever possible, we must create digital content, or whenever possible, we must give access to each and every student of our school, plus the community people also. It includes the staff and other people. Then here, career pathways we are already discussed. Then these are the important points coming under National Education Policy. See this one, developing library resources. Second point is resource sharing, inclusive education, then creation of resources. Library orientation is also given importance in NEP. Then strengthening of online interfaces, whatever we are doing nowadays with different tools, these are all coming under this, that is strengthening of online interfaces. The library as a community space where we have to reach out to the community and find out ways where community can contribute in library activities and programs. Then we must support NDLI, Diksha, and NROER. Then FLN activities we have to support, and we have to create collections. The National Book Promotion Policy, according to that, we have to organize activities and programs. Then social book clubs are also suggested, where community people are also involving. They are coming, they are be the member. They are becoming the members of social book clubs, where school library will also contribute, also collaborate. Then collaboration with other institutions, it is now open. So you can collaborate with the local library, you can collaborate with public libraries or other schools around your institution. Then partnerships with NGOs and volunteering is also very much invited. Then online platforms are supported. Then ICT integration is also given importance. Then multilingualism. Then partnerships, reading campaigns, competitions, spell bees, fastest reader contest. These are only suggested things. Okay, so we can think about a number of, we know that a number of more than 100 plus activities we are doing in our libraries. So we can think about more activities. Then social connectivity initiatives must be there as a part of library activity. So these are some key points or to remember when we are thinking about national education policy. When we are going along with the national education policy, we must think about these points and to find out ways how we can integrate all these things in our routine library activities and programs, and how we can develop our own library plan. So along with that, we have just only given about the policy things. Now the implementation part, that is the strategic implementation part, that is National Curriculum Framework for School Education 2023. In chapter 2, you can see school processes are given. There are 3 types of school processes. The first one is curricular process, that is a process that has a direct effect on learning. Second one is like you can see some examples here, like school timetable, school assembly, use of technology, etc. That is curricular process. Second is curriculum associated process, where teacher professional development, TPD or CPD. Then engagement with parents and community, that is coming under curriculum associated process. Then third one is organization process, which is connecting this the earlier 2 processes, that is school development plan, annual calendar, etc. So in this NCF, library is coming under curricular school process, so that we are getting an idea how much importance is given to the library. Okay, the process that has a direct effect on learning. Here also interesting things are happening in NCF SE. You can see these are the library things that I have find out from this NCF. See, the variety of reading materials must be there. Digital materials must be there in the library. Then QR codes, we have to use QR codes, and time is given there as physical, that is physical plus digital QR codes. QR codes must be used in the libraries. Then storytelling session should be there. Biliteracy. Biliteracy means print and digital reading skills must be promoted. So we have to have some programs in the library to develop the print and digital reading skills for the students. What we are doing along with information literacy things, that's the same thing. But we have to promote both, that is print and digital. Then online courses, bit-sized online courses. So nowadays you see that if you want to learn Canva, there can be some 30 minutes or 1 hour course on Canva only. So these are the bit-sized courses, and we must support that also. So we must support the bit-sized course content or provide content. We should help our teachers and students to have some knowledge on different topics on small areas. Then art and physical education resources must be there in the library. Multilingual resources must be there. Then vocational education, we have to support, we have to create a collection. Dedicated library hours must be there. So in most of the schools, we know that we are having library periods, and if there is no dedicated school hours, it must be there according to National Curriculum Framework. And career guidance is a part of library activity, and the cyber safety things. Okay, cyber security, fake news analysis, a lot of things are coming under this. So we must have some activities related or to support cyber safety of children, and giving some awareness about how to find out fake news, etc., etc. So the see this one. These are the curricular goals. In the case of language learning, the libraries are given very much importance. In preparatory stage, the first one is given as develops interest and preferences in reading. Then middle stage develops the ability to write reviews and uses the library to find out references. Then secondary stage uses languages to develop reasoning and argumentative skills by engaging with a variety of audio and written materials. Just to think about what we are doing in our libraries. In preparatory stage, what we are doing, we are just giving books to children and demonstrates interest in reading books from the library. Okay, students are borrowing books from our library. In the middle stage, what we are doing, we are making them read the book. After reading, they have to write a review, etc. Okay, so we have to tell them how to write a review, plus how to cite resources, how to do referencing, etc. In second stage, it is we have to the students, they have to critically analyze the subject content or critically analyze after reading the book. Okay, analyzes and evaluates the different audio and written materials, argues with the proper rationale by carefully evaluating premises. So these are the language learning part, yeah, as the curricular goals given in National Curriculum Framework. Here also reading skill development is also very much important. Language learning, reading to learn, remember that. Functional reading skills must be promoted, that is learn to recognize and understand. Literary reading skills, overall experience of reading the text, then critical reading skills like independent student reading also. So these are also coming under our library purview. You can see that whatever things we are doing in our libraries, we are promoting reading skills. But National Curriculum Framework is given a proper plan for us to find out or reorganize what we are doing in our libraries. Okay, there must be things in our library, activities in the library to promote functional reading skills, to develop literary reading skills and critical reading skills. So we have to find out ways or find out programs and activities. We have to reorganize our resources to cater the needs according to National Curriculum Framework to support the students to develop the reading skills in different stages. So here also library and language development is also given a part of classroom resources and process. Activities, some activities are also given in National Curriculum Framework. That is, these are only illustrative. You can see a number of hundreds of activities we are doing in our libraries. Here some activities are given as examples like drawing time, book reviews, story time, etc., etc. Okay, so book repairs and book canvassing is also given. So here also NCF suggests a classroom library system where there is no school, there is no proper library in the school. As you know that in many CBSE schools or many local state schools, you couldn't find out proper building, proper infrastructure and library rooms, etc. And there we can create classroom libraries. And there must be a support for students' homework. Okay, so we must have resources and we must support them to develop the content for their homework also. Here also you can see how learning outcomes, when we think about documentation of our library activities or what this, for example, if some principals or admins are asking what are the learning outcomes from your library activities and programs, just to see this document. Okay, this NCF clearly says that how we can document our learning outcomes. Shows interest in picking up and reading variety of children's books. Here also you can see 3 to 8 is given. So you can think about other age. So, okay. Just
इतने में नहीं होगा स्क्रीन देखनी है
Miss Krishna, can you please mute your mic?
So here in age group is given as 3 to 8 and shows interest in stories and poems being read out. It's one out from several books offered by the teacher and explains why they have chosen, etc. So at the end, you can see repairs and fixes books in the school library, etc. These are coming under as learning outcomes. Okay, so here these learning outcomes can be taken when we are preparing our own document to show what we have done in our school libraries. These are the learning outcomes of the library activities or what we are doing in our libraries. So this is applicable for other age group also. This is for age 3 to 8. Just like that, we can create learning outcomes or develop learning outcome modules for different age groups. So here is another interesting thing which is given in the National Curriculum Framework under the vocational education part. The library project is given. Okay, so the library project will involve the management of school library by students under graded support. Okay, so we all know that we are single-handedly managing the libraries. Here, one library project is for classes 6 to 8, where we can invite students to take part or join in this library project where they will manage the school library. Okay, under guided support. Students will be able to participate in organizing and managing the library books and space through effective practices. So it is an interesting activity that we can conduct in our libraries, where classes 6 to 8 people can be involved, or illustrative projects in middle stages. It is coming under this vocational education. So NCF also suggested 3 types of libraries in schools. That is school library, which should be open to everyone. Open access should be followed. It should be added, add-on that like a hanging library and other things should be there. Enough resources, enough devices must be there in the library. Furniture, comfortable seating must be there. Then second one is classroom library corner. If a school has limited space, libraries can be set up in classrooms with appropriate material available for the particular grade. That is classroom library corner. Then community library. Community library is where we are extending our services to the society. Okay, extending it for the use of local community after school hours. And we can invite donations, like we can have a small little free library or open library in the school campus, and where the parents and community people, those who are residing around the school, they can come to the campus and they can utilize resources. For example, if we are keeping some magazines or newspapers under this community library initiative, these things can be utilized by the society after school hours. So these 3 types of library systems are suggested by the National Curriculum Framework. That is school library, then classroom library or classroom library corner, then the third one is community library. So here the main points, you can see rich collection must be there, including the digital, then housed in a dedicated room, hall, or a corner of each classroom. Then easy accessibility should be given to the members of the school. Then books on India's rich heritage must be there. Okay. And lives and imaginations of people from various regions and diverse backgrounds. Then bilingual books and books in other Indian languages would be a must-have section in the library. So it is very clearly written in National Curriculum Framework that there should be bilingual books and books reflecting different cultures, languages, religions, and different societies, etc., etc. So it should support, the student should get a global overview, or we are making them the global citizens. For that, we should create a collection which will reflect everything, every society, every culture, and every religion. And there must be assistive devices in this library, and audiobooks, books in Braille, and other such resources for people with disabilities. The role of teachers in selection collaborative activities. So when we are thinking about how teachers are collaborating with the library or librarians, it's nowadays very limited. So NCF suggested that when we are selecting a book or books for the library, we must discuss with teachers, and there should be a committee, and that committee should be going to select books. Then collaborative activity should be there. These librarians must be there in subject committees. Okay, and when they are planning their subject content or they are planning their classroom activities, there should be a role for the library also. The collaboration options are very much there with librarians. Then variety of activities to develop culture around the reading and sharing must be there. Formation library committees also given in the National Curriculum Framework. And it is clearly written in NCF also that most of the libraries are managed by teachers and students. Okay. It is a tragedy that after giving all these things for the libraries, NCF itself says that most of the libraries are managed by teachers and students. It is a fact. It's a true fact that in most of the nearly more than, we can say that more than 60% of the schools around the country, the libraries are managed by teachers and students. Only very limited number of schools are having dedicated libraries and dedicated professional librarians. So I would like to stop the presentation because it's now the time is over also, with a quotation from NCF that is, when libraries have very strict rules or keep their books under lock and key, worrying about students using them, it defeats the whole purpose of having a library. Okay, so it is written in National Curriculum Framework for School Education 2023 that when libraries have very strict rules or keep their books under lock and key, worrying about students using them, it defeats the whole purpose of having a library. So along with this quote, I will stop my presentation. These are the references given. So the link is already given. You can go to a particular document and find out what is there. So thank you, and we can have some discussion.
Yeah,
Because
now we can have.
it's a policy thing, and it's a dry area also. We have to find out a number of suggestions given in this. So
Now I'd like to request all the participants, you can ask question. There is no question in the chat box, so you can directly, after unmuting your mic, you can ask question directly.
not only questions, because we are all facing a lot of issues in our libraries. So
Correct.
how NCF, how this national education policy can support us, how we can integrate this NEP and NCF in our library, that is the main discussion point. So if you are having any suggestions or ideas related to this also, please share with us. And I suggest everyone to go through this these documents, that is NCF and NEP 2020, and just to see how things are happening there or how things are written, and how we can integrate all these things in our libraries.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Sir, I am librarian from Bharat Manda School, sir.
Yeah.
One main issue facing is, sir, we are getting substitution period, sir. Because of that, we are not able to concentrate on our duty. That is the main.
Yes. Yeah. Here in NCF also.
Everyone is thinking that librarians are free and they are not having any other works to do. Almost all the teachers who are working with us are telling that now they are thinking that we are free.
So
Librarians.
we have to change that anyway.
Yes, sir.
We have to make
That's the
them aware
main thing
that
we are
what
facing.
we are doing, and I think there is no need of any confrontation with the teachers and the authorities, but through our own activities, our own programs, our own redesigning of the library, and our own repositioning of ourselves, we can showcase what we are doing, and naturally or gradually we can change that image. Okay.
Okay, sir.
May
Yes.
I add in something over here, Faisal?
Yeah. Yes, please, ma'am.
All members, it was Faisal. It was really an eye-opening. Actually, I was not very thorough with being in IB school. NEP, I really clicked every picture, and it was heartwarming to see that the government is thinking. But see, the government can create only documents.
Yes.
On the ground reality, who is there? We. Okay. Looking at all this, if you create a library program with learning outcomes, a real document, and present it to your principal in time, I'm using the word in time, that when it is the time for everyone to prepare for the next year, as a librarian, you should also prepare one proper document with the help of these slides that Mr. Faisal has shared, and then present it to your principal, and then religiously do everything month wise, week wise, make lesson plans. Your job is really very precious, but what I see, I'm in the profession, what I see, the librarians don't do it that way. They are only busy with issue and return.
Yeah.
They are not able to manage their own time. That's the reason people in the school, teachers in the school, think that librarians do nothing. Actually, that's very true in very hi-fi schools as well. But now the principals are really waking up with this NEP, and they are people are changing. It's the time right now to act on it now.
Exactly.
We are here to help you. We have been conducting workshops on how to create a library program. Proper documentation I have shared, Faisal.
Yes.
So please do it. Don't finish the webinar here only.
Yeah. So these are the two documents that we, thank you, ma'am. These are the two documents we can use, like weapons, because a lot of suggestions are there, a lot of guidelines are given. It's a very precious documents where we can use this document to create our own suggestions before the principals or administrations, or develop our own things. Okay, when we are planning our annual activity plan or calendar, library calendar, just include whatever suggested in these two policies and find out the ways how we can document it and showcase it as suggested by ma'am.
May I?
Yes, yes, please.
Yeah, good evening, Faisal sir, and thank you so much for this insightful session. Thank you, Madhu ma'am. Your contribution to our profession is really admirable. Being a librarian for such a long time, what I have felt, sir, that in spite of all our efforts, we do try to do this. Okay, government is putting it into words now, into this curriculum framework and all those things. Somewhere I have felt in the students, they have a fear of grades. Whatever we do, it is not evaluated in any sense, or it is means even the language teacher, somewhere it should be collaborated, so that students, they may think it is completely optional. Out of a class of 40, I will say 10 will take interest. 10 भी मैं शायद ज़्यादा बोल रही हूँ. It is very difficult, very challenging to make at least 50% of them to come out with those. I have seen your sites and everything. When I tried in my school with my student, I really means I was disappointed to see the students not taking that much interest. So what I feel is, somewhere can we evaluate them on those ground? Can it be joined with any other language or something like that?
Yeah, true. And I would like to suggest that don't limit with the suggestions given in NCF and NEP. Okay, so just like NCF, it says about the library project for the for children of classes 6 to 8. So it's a good opportunity for us also to collaborate with the work education department, where we can have a project for the children, where it can be graded also, remember. So it can be graded when we are doing a project with the children. So it can be graded. And
who grades it, sir? Who will grade it?
We have to grade. Okay, it is given under vocational education, plus the library project should be under the librarian, remember that. So we have to have a plan to have a project in our library. For example, it is just an example, okay, for classes 6 to 8. So we can think about having a library project where the students will be engaged in library management and other activities. And we can tell them that it should be, we are going to give scores also. It is a simple thing that we can do. Just like that, we can think about a number of activities and programs. We know that
will our school heads allow us to do this?
Already burdened with a lot of programs and activities and assignments, etc. But along with that, so we have to reposition ourselves in the schools also. Okay, so these type of activities will support us, I think.
Faisal, may I give a suggestion here?
Yes, please.
See, my dear friends and colleagues, total in a year, there are 9 months, okay? In 9 months, if you create one program, one activity, for example, writing a book review, simple as that. Children are issuing books from you. You tell them, create a poster, a program where you announce that everyone has to submit one book review. Now, book review, you could give a format and then create a rubric for that. Okay? Create a rubric, people submit it to you. It could be digital, it could be hard copy, whatever way, that is not a problem for you. That shouldn't be a problem for you. That's what we do. Then with the help of that rubric, yes, teachers also have that problem, isn't it? They have to assess every child, whatever classes they are taking. Isn't it? They have to assess, create assignments and assess, only then they get into the report card. If you want to get into the report card, this is the way. Every month, even if you have one activity and you grade it at your level along with the rubric, create a statistics on a Excel sheet. Okay? Have it for 3 months and present it to your principal or whoever is your line manager. See, this is the data capture from what you are doing with the students. Okay. First of all, teach them, create a lesson plan. When you want to do this, do it for 3 months, do it for 2 months. Take long time. Okay. Teach them how to write a book review. Do a proper session like Faisal has done. Take one full lesson for every class. Teach them how to write a proper book review. Give them a template. Tell them how to do it. Use electronic media, whiteboard, whatever resources you have. You have taught it. Now what students have done now, you take one book, borrow it for a week, for 2 weeks, and then come back with the template written, that book review written, and they submit it. Those who don't submit, they lose marks, isn't it? Create now 2 to 3, headings for the book review. See the content. You must have given them some title. Okay, issue dystopian books or issue war, books on war, something of that kind that the students issue. Then could they address the content? Could they address what was their language? 3 or 4 points in the rubric, making it 20. Okay, out of 20, suppose I am a student, I read a book on NEP rank. After that, I wrote a book review and submitted to you. You look at it in the light of that rubric and give marks. It is a job. It is not very easy to come in limelight in the light of the principles. You will keep doing this in a dormant way. Librarians will always remain dormant unless and otherwise you walk out of that space and do something.
I fully agree, ma'am. Thank you so much, Madhu, ma'am. Thank you. I will
When you
try.
present it to your principal, see, this is what it means.
Yes, we
you
are
know,
doing,
when
we
you
are
want to invest.
presenting. Principal also admires, but this is the challenge I face with the students.
Yeah.
I'll try, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Next,
Even
I
when
can,
it,
I
Thank
can
you.
see Asa.
hello,
Miss
ma'am.
Asha.
When it, hello,
Okay.
ma'am.
Okay.
It's Nagaratna.
Okay.
So when it comes to book
Please
review,
wait,
even
ma'am.
when
Please
we,
wait. Please wait. Others are
yes,
in queue. You
Yes,
have to
one
wait.
by one, please.
I can see Miss Asa hands are raised. Do you have any question, please?
Asha.
Miss Asha?
No, ma'am.
Yeah, your hand is raised. Do you have any?
Then Sandhya, Miss Sandhya Salim.
Sandhya also. Next.
Yes. Yes, good evening, sir. A
Good evening.
very insightful session. I really, I knew about NEP 2020. I have attended several other sessions also. And this was also an eye-opener. Some new things also I found out. And it was great. Secondly, I fully agree with Madhu ma'am that you have to, make up your, take up your own stand
Yeah.
and, make your presence felt. I have done it in my school and people know me by my profession. So I have also created a month-wise calendar and I started it on my own around 3-4 years back and it has been continuing. And it's a thing that, everyone appreciates. And we do commit to it. We do many of the activities that NEP 2020 specifies. I keep on adding and, new activities and deleting the old ones. So I try to keep it updated. So that is one thing that as a librarian we can do.
Yeah.
One thing, sir, I would like to know is about library policy. Is the library policy is an official document, right? So,
Policy means what do you mean by which policy?
library policy, formulation of a library policy, a formal library policy.
Okay.
So, can this library policy include some points from NEP 2022?
Yeah, definitely. Why not? It should be integrated with NEP 2020, basically. And then are you thinking about any particular organization's library policy or your own library policy? What you are saying?
In our school, in my school, I want to. I don't have a library policy as
You
of
want to
yet an
create
official. But how
yes,
to
yes.
go about it? I was a little bit confused.
Yeah. You can. Yeah, I would like to suggest that you can go through different policies already we are having, like NCRT, that CBSE policy is there. Plus
Yeah.
KVS is having one policy, and IB schools are having some other policies. then plus this NEP and NCF. So take all these policies together and find out the points where you can include in your own policy. And NCF is also given wonderful suggestions, just like we discussed about library project and other things, etc. These things can be included, like reflections and other learning outcomes, etc. So like ma'am suggested, we can include all these things in your library policy. Yeah.
That's great. So that means apart from the general rules and regulations, we can include points from NCF and
Yeah, you
this
must,
NEP 2020.
you must, because our country is going to that direction. Okay, and almost all schools are implementing this NEP and NCF, because to get recognition anyway, we have to implement all these things, these recommendations.
Definitely.
Yeah, Sandhya, I would like to
Thank you.
add in
Yeah,
here.
please.
Yes,
Library
ma'am.
policy means this is your protection.
Yes.
Okay. Make a policy as soon as it is possible and use NEP as a base. That is your protection. That is your firewall. And use it, and your management will recognize it, get it signed by the
Yes,
top
ma'am.
management and everyone, and keep it as a document and publish it to everyone. It should actually be parts of it, in abridged form. It should go into a school almanac.
Yeah.
Where it
Ma'am, one question over here. How long should a policy be? See, like sir suggested, I have gone through CBSE and all, library policies. They are very vast. I mean, I am confused. Should I prepare a 6-7 page policy? Some schools I have asked around, they have just created, 1 or 2 page policies only, just telling about the rules and regulation of the school. And to them, that is a library policy.
Yeah, in some cases, if you see that many other policies from other countries, for example, Australian Library Association policy, and even our this IFLA library guidelines and policy also, it's very, very abridged. Okay, you can see that very important things are only there. So when you are creating a policy, it is not necessary that it must be a vast one or a big one. So you can refer to other documents. For example, if you are thinking about classification, how the books are organized, to be organized. So we just suggest that it should be organized according to the CBSE library policy. And CBSE library policy clearly says that how it should be organized, DDC and other things, etc. That you can refer. So there is no need to copy everything from here and there, but there should be something peculiar or unique for your association, for your organization.
For your school, yes.
Yeah, for your school example. Right.
Okay, ma'am.
It should be based on your school mission and vision. Okay.
Yes, exactly.
That's your parent organization.
Yeah.
Okay. Right, ma'am. Thank you so much, both
We
of
can
you.
consider doing one session on.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
actually, yeah, it would be rather helpful if we have, one seminar on this, vis-a-vis NEP 2020, so that we actually clearly know. And if somebody has formulated, it would be very helpful if someone can share the library policy. We
Yeah,
can
there are
mold
many
it to
people
our,
here.
yeah.
There are many people here. Yes.
So,
Yeah.
and regarding KVS is having a policy which we created in 2014. Now the revision is going on. So librarians and admins are actually involved in that activity, and they are doing it now. Okay. Anyway, within a few months, you will get the new policy, which is actually they are going to integrate NEP into KVS policy, existing policy. So you'll get an idea how KVS is doing that work. Okay. So anyway, along with that, you can start your policy making. Okay, based on your organization's mission and vision.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Next is Panjalingam.
Good evening, sir. Faisal, sir, good evening.
Good evening.
Faisal, sir, good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah,
Good evening,
from
sir.
from which class to give the library for a library hour for a compulsory basis as per the CBSE
It is
norms.
not.
Class
It is given in NEP and NCF that from which class you should start. It actually it can be from class one onwards, because in primary section, in primary also we already have library periods, library hours, as you know that. Yeah, that is there. So this is suggested in a way. Yeah.
Yeah. So in our school, we have that in each section, each class for 5 sections. It's possible to give the library to all the people like this. It's possible that.
Possible to?
give the library for weekly once, maybe impossible
Yeah,
also. What we
it
can do?
it is a policy decision, and you can insist. You can tell your admins or your principal and people, those who are managing your school or those who are creating the
Yeah,
timetable, etc. According to NEP
yeah,
and NC, there must be library hours. It is clearly written in
yeah.
NCF that library hours must be there. Okay, and what
It's a
have to be?
compulsory. No, no. Yeah, it's a compulsory to all give the library to
Yeah,
all
it
the
is.
people, all the
It
students.
is very much compulsory. There must be library hours. So you can
Yeah,
tell
yeah.
them that according to NEP and NCF, there must be library hours, and they have to give a slot for library in the timetable
Yeah,
itself.
it's yeah. My school, the only one library is there. How we can take
Yeah.
it, do it. Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
you go along with these policies to your principal and other admins.
Yeah, yes, yeah, yes, yes. Okay, thanks, sir. Thank you, thank you.
Yeah,
Guys.
okay.
Have a good session, sir. Thank you, Pari. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Next is Susita. Are you there?
Yes, ma'am. Good evening to everyone. Sir, thank you very much for wonderful session. And I would like to add some activities which I conduct at KV BSF Sakur and
Yes.
at my previous school KV Southern Command Pune. Sir,
Mhm.
as per the NEP, first of all, I would like to put this point. During my research work, I had taken topic aligned to NEP, library activities, school library, role of librarian and library aligned to NEP. There, my researcher and my guide, they raise question. There is no anywhere mention of library and librarian in NEP. Just foundational literacy and numeracy. Why are you using
No,
NEP?
no, no.
So
It's
there I had argument with my guide and other professors at university, but they had insisted me to change the topic. Then I had changed my topic to role of librarian in inculcating reading habit. But as per the NAP's change question paper pattern and 100 days reading campaign and those 14-week activity, I had planned different activities as we used to conduct before in KVS. Before we used to take the book review, bookmark, book jacket, then storytelling session.
yeah.
But later I started story enactment in groups, then subject integrated activity, constitution awareness, skit on fundamental rights and fundamental duties. Then we had taken the numerous lessons from English, Hindi, and Sanskrit, and story enactment we had done, and 4 section student they prepared their lesson through these activities. Then we started spontaneous book talk. We prepared reading cave with the help of students. It's the art integrated activity. We prepared reading cave, and every week 10 minutes spontaneous anyone can come and narrate the story or what a book they read. So like that, interactive overall development activity we plan aligned to NEP. Here, being a librarian, I had tried to take session on information literacy, subject integrated activity. Then we had taken constitution rally and everything we planned. But here I found librarian is limited to only the counter issue and return. But other activity if we want to conduct, we need to create the ambience. We need to bring those students because students are not equal. Some are good at writing, some are good at speaking, some are good at writing. So we had to bring those children and we had to make them to express there through library activities. So we planned the calendar, and as per the 14-week CBSE's 14-week activity, whole academic year we are conducting such activity. Previous school was 4-section school, so I was getting very response when very number, when 60 participants were coming for one activity. But after reaching to new school, it's in hard station and students are from village area. Now they are not coming forward. They have stage fear, language problem. Then we started regional language uses as per the NEP. So we started conducting activities in regional author meet, then storytelling in Marathi. So like that way, subject integrated activity, CBSE's plan and conceptual based question, we are preparing student for this 150 mark. Means every subject 30 marks. So reading is the best. So being a librarian, I'm working on those activities. And thank you very much. Just that question I argue with my researcher. There is no any mention for library and library in NMP. So I would
So
like
you just tell him to just search the terms library and librarian there in the NEP. Okay. So you can find out a number of incidents where the library term is there appearing in NEP. Okay. So thank you for your wonderful activity details. Okay.
So
Thank you.
some questions are there in the chat box.
Yes.
Can I ask? Akhila Arora has some concern how the school library can provide for community service after school hours. Sir, you are muted, I think.
Yeah, community, it is suggested in NCF and NEP that the school library should utilize the community resources. For the last many years, many libraries, not only school libraries, many libraries around the country, they are connecting with community through particular different activities. For example, you can have a book donation drive, you can have some interactive collaborative activity with the nearby schools, etc., etc. Like you can support the nearby school teachers also by providing some training programs, etc. That's also a community activity where you are going to a particular school, less privileged school, where you are just telling the students how to do all these things or reading their support reading activities, etc. These are all community activities. So a number of opportunities are available there. We have to find out how it can be implemented with our own resources. Okay. So when you search internet also, you can find out number of ideas related to how community can be added to this.
She is also asking how can she do after school hours.
Yes. Hello, sir. Good evening.
Yes, yes, please.
Sir, my concern is only after the school hours. During the school hours, we are able to do so many things.
It is suggested, as said, Madam Chandana, Sujeta Madam said, there is not a single word librarian there in NCF or NEP. Librarian is not there, but library and libraries are there. Okay. So you can see that in the academic sector, they are considering only teachers and staff together. Okay. So librarians are coming under teachers anyway, but it is the particular term is not mentioned anywhere in the NCF and in NEP. But after school hours issue is there. But in such cases, we have to think about how it should be managed. For example, if you are having a community library after school hours, if you are having some books or magazines or newspapers which are kept in the school campus where an open library, we are setting an open library. Okay, so how it should be managed, that we have to think about. In such cases, the management or the people, those who are controlling the system, they have to decide who should manage, how it can be. For example, if you are having a library assistant, etc., it can be, there will be a support. But in some cases, it can be volunteers can manage such libraries. For example, if you are having a community library, you can assign some parents, those who are coming regularly to that community library, or people, those who are visiting their this library regularly. They can volunteer themselves to manage the things there. For example, they can organize the books, they can keep the books in a proper way, or having newspapers, magazines, etc., etc. So we have to think about the practical difficulties and how to solve that also, according from our own side. So,
absolutely, sir. So, sir, right now, what we are doing, we are sharing our digital resources as the community service program. That is our e-library, the Balbhati e-library, and that we are sharing the link with the community. So in this way, we are doing it after the school hours. Otherwise, we are also having a book bank facility.
Yeah,
that is also being handled by volunteers only.
Yeah, exactly. It is good. But the thing is that just to see the NCF and NEP is basically it is for all schools, not the schools which are there in cities. Okay. So when we think about schools, there are thousands of schools in small cities and villages where there is no facility of library and libraries. Okay. There will be a small school having some rooms and for example, fortunately, if they are having some books, so they can have a library. So these books should be utilized, okay, for by the community after school hours. It means that there may be a school in a remote area, in a hill station, etc., etc. That may be the only point where local people can connect. So we can convert our library or the school as a whole as a community space where people can come after school hours. They can sit there, they can discuss their problems and find out solutions also. Okay, so we can give a space where they can come together and discuss or interact each other. to find out solutions. In such cases, the library can serve as a resource center where we are providing the resources which we have selected already for students, and according to the community needs also we can find out some resources. For example, a group of farmers are there around your school. Okay, so you can have some resources related to them, how to do agriculture and other things, etc. Some resources, some magazines, newspapers, etc. They can also be kept in the library. So when you think about NEP and NCF, think about small village schools where there is no facility, okay, of a library, of a librarian. Even the schools, they don't have enough facility to keep the children engaged, etc., etc. So in that way, we have to think, okay. So in our case, we are having almost all facilities in our libraries. How we can support the community around us? That is also a different question. So in our own way, we have to find out how we can collaborate with them and support them.
Yes, absolutely, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
I don't know the name, but one Kendriya Vidyalaya Ananagar. Also, if you want to ask question, you can put directly, because there is a question, 2 questions. Anybody? Kendriya Vidyalaya Ananagar.
I think her name is Neeraja Rao. Neeraja Rao, madam, is there?
She has put 2 questions, but name.
Okay.
She's asking about
permissible loss of
loss of books should
whether
be
it should be reviewed in the policy.
Yes, yes.
The permissible loss is not given a mention in the NCF and the NEP. It is a different document. Anyway,
Okay.
No, it is library policy. I think she might.
Policy it can be. Policy
yeah,
it must be there, yeah.
herself for
it is Government of India. That is Government of India rules are already there. Permissible laws and right of etc. etc. The rules are already there. So how we are taking into the library policy? You are telling about specifically about KVS policy or something else? Is the question is specific to KVS policy or any other policy?
I think it might be related to KVS only. She works in KV, no? Right?
Acha, okay. So there are suggestions related to this one already there. So I think these people are working on it. Okay, and it will be taken care. Yeah.
Okay, next, Sumia CV, if you can ask. There is one more question. You can ask directly. Okay, I'll read the question.
Yes, please.
Sir, is there any digital platform that allows educator or student to engage with the resource foster literacy growth, where teacher can track each child progress? Our school currently uses 2 platforms that require payment for each child. It would be helpful if you could suggest any interaction platform where student can read for free, or teacher can assign books, prepare quizzes, and track the student progress. He's asking any platform for free.
The free platforms are normally very less limited number. And during COVID time, we have used some platforms. Could anyone remember that? We used that Epic platform we used, and another one is CommonLit. CommonLit is a platform. Actually, it is a free platform, but it is available only for US schools. But you can request them to get an access to that CommonLit platform. In CommonLit, you can find out a number of resources. ReadWorks is also there. ReadWorks.
Yeah.
Okay, ReadWorks, Epic, and CommonLit. These are the 3 platforms you can search out. But you have to directly connect with them to get an idea how they are, what are their plans, etc. There may be some free plans also for some countries. Okay, country-based free plans are also available. So I suggest you to contact directly with them.
Yeah, Faisal, there is one Read Theory,
Yeah,
ReadWorks,
yeah.
and
Okay.
CommonLit as well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
CommonLit.
wonderful programs. Yeah,
Yeah.
you can assign classes, but you have to be educated by yourself by going
Yes.
to those. They are free, of course.
Commonly, I think it's a very beautiful platform.
Yeah, very
So
beautiful.
we used it during this COVID time. We
Yeah.
used it.
I think Madhu ma'am has already done
Yeah,
this.
yes,
It was,
Yeah.
ReadWorks. You did a session on ReadWorks.
yes,
First
yes,
time.
already, yeah.
I still use it.
Yeah, I do
And
remember.
there are more technology-based, application-based
It
Google
is now.
Applied
Now
Skills is
it's free.
also
No?
there.
It's a free platform, I think.
It's a free platform, even for digital citizenship, Google Applied Digital Skills,
Yeah.
that gives students a certificate also after completion.
Ma'am, you
So,
can.
Platform, yeah.
Sorry.
Miss Sumia, you can think about this platform that is
Yeah.
ReadWorks. It's a
Can
very
you
good.
pardon the names, please?
Yes, sir.
Sir, please pardon the names.
That is ReadWorks. ReadWorks. It's already there.
.org.
Yeah.
ReadWorks.org.
And so many others.
Yeah, that is one is Common Lit. Common Lit.
Okay.
You Google it, you will get it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Common Lit is there. These are the two.
Another one is Read Theory.
platforms. Read Theory. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
One
Welcome.
more question, Miss Sapna Yadav. You are here. If you can ask. She is asking about, she wanted to start book club and readers club. How to start it? She wants any, if we can incorporate any session, she is asking.
Yeah, in NEP, it is suggested that you can have book clubs. Okay. Basically, this is a little bit confusing idea where in almost all schools, you can find out the readers clubs. Okay. Readers club is actually it's an umbrella term where under which you can create your own small book clubs. For example, you can have a Harry Potter book club. You can have Ruskin Bond, Sudhamurthy book club, where a limited number of students are coming. They are doing activities under book club. Okay, so these book clubs can be formed under Readers Club. Readers Club is a big one where under which there may be more than 50 or 100 students in that Readers Club. But book clubs should be limited ones. Okay, limited with the members. For example, there will be a Ruskin Bond book club. 6 or 7 members or 10 members will be there. They will only think or discuss about the books written by Ruskin Bond. Okay, they will only discuss about means they will have some activities of Ruskin Bond, they will present it, or they will have some discussions, book talks, etc., etc. A number of activities can be conducted under book clubs. So, but in NEP it is suggested that we must have book clubs, but readers clubs are not mentioned there anyway. But it is, I think it's our discretion that we can have this both, because in a big school you must have a readers club, under which a book club, according to when you see the dictionary meaning of book club is actually defined as the club to discuss a particular author, particular book, or a series of books under a particular title. Okay, that is where these members will discuss only that book or that series of books or that author. That is the dictionary definition of a book club. But anyway, when we think about Readers Club, we can form small book clubs under Readers Club. That I think that will be a good idea. That I am suggesting.
Okay, there is no question, but Miss Seema has raised her hand. If you want to talk to
Yes,
her.
yes, please.
May I?
Yeah, please.
So I wanted to ask that it's being said now, apart from physical books, there's a lot of emphasis equally on digital books also. Yeah. Now, if we give access to this national digital library, or say Story Weaver or any other whatever CPSC, is that sufficient, or we should have some digital repository of our own also?
I think that as a school librarian, it is very difficult to create your own digital library using your own resources. In a school, you are getting limited number of resources which are copyleft. Otherwise, these teachers are creating some presentations or some resources that you can host as a digital library collection. Or else you can have some resources by students, selected resources, which can also be hosted in a digital library. But in a true sense, in a technical sense, when you are going to create a digital library, you have to have a platform there. You have to have a server where you are hosting all these digital contents, etc., and you are giving access to that. In a technical way, it is a little bit difficult. But as suggested by NEP, you can give access through your library to National Digital Library of India, And whatever we are doing, we have been doing for the last many years, that we are creating blogs and
Yes,
virtual
we are
libraries, the
curating
collections.
the things and
Yeah,
sharing
these are
with
all coming under digital collections. Whatever digital resources we are creating and we are giving access to, these are coming under digital libraries. That is a good way. That is a practical way where we can create digital collections. For example, you are creating using Wakelet, you are having a collection of films, etc. That's a digital collection. So that can be considered as a part of your digital library.
Yeah.
So I think that you can have a portal-like system where an online gateway can be created, from which you can redirect your students to different digital collections. For example, you can create a blog from which you are redirecting your students to a virtual library or other digital collections or any other digital things, etc. Like the same thing that we are doing for the last many years. Along with that, you can give them access through your digital interface to the government on digital resources like National Digital Library of India and other resources by CBSE, NCRT, etc., etc. That is possible. Otherwise, if you are going to create your own collection, there may be copyright issues and other things. A lot of things are there. And some librarians, they are collecting, they are having their own digital library using copy protected resources. That is not suggested, and it is also a violation of copyright rules. So we are not suggesting that one. As an association also, we are not suggesting to have copy protected resources in your digital library collection. So it is better to redirect your students to digital resources which are available. And as a librarian, our prime responsibility to find out the correct resources which are okay for our users and organize it in a way where they can easily access it. Right.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Jitu Das, you are here. You also have a question, Mr. Jitu Das. Okay, he may be left. Okay, now can we close the question answer?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, there is a feedback from
Roshan also have some questions.
who?
Krishna.
Krishna Roshan.
Yeah, Krishna Roshan. Please, sorry, I didn't see. Okay, please.
Good evening, Faisal sir. So my question is related to book club. Means we have a library period having 40 to 50 student and in substitution same strength. So how to run a book club consisting of 5 to 10 student? It is related to running a book club as NEP said about book club. So this is related to KVS. I'm having a lot of problem to run a book club in my school because every time we have 50 to 60 student in each class, and it's some really it's not feasible to conduct book club meetings. So I need your suggestions to run a book club successfully. Thank you so much.
Regarding this, I would like to suggest that we are already having a readers club. Okay, nearly 50 to 100 students will be there in a readers club. So there may be, for example, if you are going to create a Sudhamurthy book club, you have to announce that we are going to create a book club on Sudhamurthy. So there may be some students, there may be 10 or 15 students those are interested to join their club. From that, you can select whichever number is okay for you. For example, 10 students. Okay, you can announce in advance that there will be 10 members only for this particular club. Okay. So these 10 students can be selected using a particular criteria. You can select these students and you can assign, or these members will sit together and they will plan for the year. Okay, what are the activities they can conduct? For example, an assembly program or any other activity, any other writing things, etc., etc. So under that, you can have some time. Okay, when they are getting some free time, it is not possible to assign a particular fixed time for them to have some book club activities, but so you can tell them that whenever they are free, okay, these members can come to the library, they can sit together and discuss about the particular book or having some activities there. That is what I am doing in my library. And it depends on how you are planning all these things anyway. And we must have this readers club under which you can have small group of book clubs. Okay.
May I also add in this?
Yes.
Yeah, because I have book club, I have 70 students. What I have done, I asked the student what genre they like. So I make them, if somebody is liking fantasy book, I make them one group for that only.
Yeah.
Divided into 10 different genre, and one group at a time, they present or create something and they present to everyone.
Yes.
So I divided that way. So you
Yes.
can also do that.
Yeah.
If you can divide it the group according to their genre or
exactly.
their interest. Yeah.
In our library, we are having 8 book clubs on different authors. Okay.
Okay.
So these people are coming during free time. Their free time, they are coming to the library. They are sitting together and discussing about that particular book or the books written by a particular author, etc., etc. But we are having Readers Club also, and Readers Clubs are having a number of other activities. Okay, not only this book club activity. These are some exclusive group of students. Those are coming and discuss on a particular topic or a particular author or book.
And some student go to the younger student and they read for the young student who doesn't like to read or something. You can break them different groups.
Yes.
Yeah.
It depends on how you are planning it. Yeah.
Right. I got an idea.
These are some ideas. You can devise your own idea. You can devise your own activity and plan for that.
Correct. Okay.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
There is a feedback form in the chat box. Kindly fill up the form with the correct email ID. Otherwise, you will not receive the e-certificate.
Yeah, correct email ID and that school's name also. Yeah, institution name, affiliation.
Already a link has been shared in the chat box. So now we like to give the vote of thanks. Thank you everyone for joining today's webinar. A special thanks to our esteemed speaker, Mr. S.L. Faisal, for sharing his valuable insight on the role of school libraries in the context of NEP 2020. He explained everything in great detail with remarkable clarity. Your experience and innovative approach have truly inspired us. I'd also like to thank all the participants for their active engagement and the organizing team for making this webinar possible. We have more sessions coming up. So on December, you can see in the screen, we have another one on December 28th at 5 p.m.
Yes.
Another one, webinar number 5, we have on January 4th. The timing is different. It is on 5:30 p.m. So free for this last one, we have free for all SLA members. But if somebody wants to join from not from SLA members, they can pay 100 rupees and they can join. Have a wonderful day ahead. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.